catch him. It's a Roman horse. Right, let's have a look at this mobile home here, Charlie. We're going to go over to zone 3. Shortly after we moved in, so let's say 7 years ago, we put this mobile home in and started working on it before we found what we found. So under here we've got a completely level platform, which is also level underneath the orchard, which goes over towards the packing room and the lorry. It's a level playing field apart from the path that we've cut through. But like I said, all we've done is taken off the topsoil and a little bit, and now we've got this shape and all these humps and bumps. We've got these 2 pillars here. This is a pillar. Mike, go and stand on the other one over there, mate. Yeah.
Right here?
It's like one of your golf shots out of that grass. Yeah, so we've got basically 2 pillars, let's say, and then that leads us out, I believe, onto zone 3, which we're going to go down through now. So when we moved in, the barn wasn't there. There was 2 wooden stables and a small menage with wood chip. We've added these 4 shelters here, and we put the barn in. All we did with the barn was dig down 6 inches and lay the concrete. All the way through here we had a real boggy field system going on. It literally, you had like half an hour rain and then it would turn to mud. The reason we know now is because they buried what we're uncovering in zone 3. The mud was getting so wet and it couldn't drain because there was a solid floor or track underneath it. So that's what we've got down through here. I've laid these, I started trying to landscape the yard basically, and then started uncovering stuff. So we've got a track here, okay, and then you've got a lot of this cloth, and underneath the cloth is stone. Yeah. So this here, going right up where we were last time on the gate, this is the trap. These, just by chance, this is just me thinking, right, I need the water to go there, I need it to go there. Someone's already been there and done it, so I've followed what they've done. So this is the main driveway. The main driveway, which means this is the centre. If you look back towards that barn and container, this is the centre of the property, or properties, because it wasn't until Henry VIII, 1500 and whatever, where they started joining houses together and having internal corridors. Before then it was all right, fuck me, have you got a brolly? Yeah. So basically before then it would have been a quick dash to the...
What do you actually think the whole place was then? A fort or
I think it started off as a Roman settlement, but not just your everyday 2 up, 2 down. I think it was fortified, and then it would have been a Saxon settlement, and then it would have been a Saxon settlement, and then Normans or whatever was going on in the area at the time. But like you said, when we look at the metalwork in a bit, it stinks of paganism, and it stinks of whatever that brought to the table, which was knights, crusades and battling. But what I've done since I found what I found this year is I've just been scraping gravel off. Right. So I've taken about 3-4 inches off of here already, and now what we're starting to see is like we did there, where I just pulled that cloth, and this cloth, we're going to see that all the way down through. Someone's come along and I haven't put this cloth in, because all I've ever done, and this cloth's not that old, I mean I'm going to research how old, but that's not that old, you know. And there's everything, you know, and I'm talking in recent years, maybe not in the last, well, not in the last 10 years, because we've been here 9 years, but in the last 20, 30 years, not 100 years ago when, so we got all this stonework, and we saw that stone over there just now, didn't we? And the definition of that stone. So I believe that under your feet there, all the way along here, is a Roman road.
What about this door here?
This, yeah, we had a Shetland pass away, and we buried her at the other side of this wall. There was nothing there. I dug, yeah, a good 5 foot, 6 foot down, just mud.
Yeah.
No stone. This side of the wall, I mean, we were talking less than 3 metres away. We've got all this. This is all diving down, driving up, and then someone's put this pipe through here, look, Mike. So we've got the pipe here, right? Yeah. That runs that way.
Well, that's below the.
This is all dressed sandstone. This piece here fits somehow in here. Where are we talking here? Like this.
Oh, yeah, on the end.
On the end, I think it's like that. There. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not anything that's been done in our lifetimes. This pipe even is old as hell. It's not old, but it's old. And then you got your different layers, yeah?
Yeah.
So this looks like a bridge, because if you see the hump, I'm starting to drag more out there, look Charlie, where the gravel's softer, and then under your feet here it's really substantial. These are all fixed, so that's something coming through there, but under there there's another layer and another layer, so there's a good 3 or 4 layers. Right, so we've got a layer here. Sorry mate, I'll get your daps dirty now. A layer there and a layer there. So this is us going down, right? And every time I come down and I find this cut, so this shape,
yeah,
it's all the way along, it's the same. And every time we come in, now I know I can put my trowel in there, I know I can lift that there. Right. So we know that underneath there, underneath your feet, and it's rising slightly all the time. So basically when I did the barn, I must have just been above it. Hey ho. So this feature here, there's your floor. Right. And if we get a bit of water on there in a minute, Charlie. Right. Right, so you see how it's flowing down. It's coming down. And then we've got this. So think of that sandstone over there in the hole with the bridge system, or whatever the hell it is. This wall here, I just put up for training purposes, just to show people some products. So when they built us, we had a bit of gravel here. I said just bed it straight on top of the fucking floor. I said just bed it on top of the floor, because otherwise you'll have to dig a hole. Yeah. We might want to knock it down. So just do that. So it looks like they built it on top of whatever it is. If you go the other side, underneath there, Charlie, then it's coming along there as well. When I first looked at it, I thought it was just what we bedded it on, but it isn't. It's got shape to it. So we've also got the same floor that we found over there coming down here, and we've also got what I think is the signs of it going under this cabin here. And in those areas where we've got layers here again. So when we wash this down here, we've got the same going on here. We've got black plastic here, but it's not going right under Charlie's feet. It's not going right under your feet. It's just been crammed in there with bits of stone and clay, as if someone's come along, had a pair of scissors or whatever, cut a piece off,
so it's not a membrane,
shoved it in a hole.
Membrane then? Membrane?
It's a membrane, but it's been used to block up chambers.
Right.
So when we open up all the chambers, when it rains, in theory, everything that comes under the house should drain all the way through and out and into that chamber that we just found around there. So here we've got the layers that we spoke about around there. That's a layer. See that? This is probably the third layer we've had off. So that's the fourth layer. But as we go down, you get these areas where it starts doing that now. So we take a bit out. It starts to... So I've got to be really careful basically. When I take all this off, I can't just pull it all off and hope for the best. Down to that oldest layer, which is what we want. All the layers before that, we've got so many areas, we'll be able to show every layer. So I mean, when we landscape the garden, we'll be able to show people all the layers. So the medieval layers, right the way back to the Roman layers. But for this purpose, I've got to get this rectangle dug, and I've got to go down to the oldest layer, because then I know exactly what we're dealing with. Yeah. I've just panned down here, so we've had no rain, right? No rain to speak of. I've been coming up because I thought that's what I need to do. But there's water here all the time. So there's your different layers. So that is now getting more and more substantial as I scrape. And what's we got there? Look. There's that fabric. Again, look, see it? Mm-hmm. What do you reckon, mate? Yeah, there's that fabric. You get down to that layer, and then you can feel it there. I know. We're just scraping there now. Maybe that one should have stayed in place, but we're down to a decent layer. Probably not the oldest layer, but still, they've spent money and effort doing that. They've had a lot of people on pushing bloody wheelbarrows or horse and cart in it. You can see it there, look.
Got no idea what it is, but it's not a normal stone.
Yeah. This to me, Charlie, looks like it's going. It's like a. You know how the water runs that way? When you look at the whole landscape, it drops one way and drops the other way. Do you know what I mean? It's never level. So these chambers here, it's all about when it rains, the surface water needs to go where it was told to go, and at the same time create a feature. Because if it rained back in the day and then the sun came out, they would have had all that water glistening in the sunshine, with all their exotic bloody mineral stones glistening. Well, these are just. This is a really old photo. Some of them have got dates on them. Like that's 1929. That's
the house.
That's the main. That's the new manor, which is up the hill.
Yeah.
So that would have been built in Georgian times, and I think that's Cranger's granddad. I think.
Cranger?
Yeah, the farmer. 1928. This is a buffalo at the bailiff's house, or a bailiff in the bloody hamlet. So there you go. So this photo here is really hard for you to see, but you can see the Georgian manor up here, and you can see our gaff right there.
Is that yours there? Is it? Yeah.
So we're right on the end, and it's a black and white one, as you can see, but there's loads of detail I can gain from that photograph. So these are all bits that I found. Most of these have come out, I would say 90% of these have come out as Zone 1, which is over by the house. Charlie's probably got some imagery of Zone 1 for these purposes. So when they were at this stage here, I got in touch with the finds team to ask them what they thought they were, and what I said to them was that, to me as an unqualified person in this field, they look like snakes. So that looks like a snake, that looks like a snake, that looks like a snake. This chain is also a snake, or a dragon. Dragons or snakes. But they couldn't see that. Even the bone is like a dragon. I don't know whether that's the right view for you, Charlie, but you can see it's not your average bone. And the other thing, Mike, if you hold this in a minute like that, it also feels like a handle.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's a handle shaped like a dragon, which had something connected to it there, which we haven't found yet or haven't cleaned yet, but it looks like a weapon, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Coming across the mythical legend of King Arthur, Alfred the Great, all these, people that have passed, gone, all these royals and warriors and all the rest of it. If I can see a snake there, and you said you can.
Yeah, I can see it.
Then, but also, change the subject slightly. I put that on a few Facebook groups, right? And I just put an emoji of a snake with some question marks. The amount of people that just said, "Oh, it's either off a plough, or it's off a plough, or it's hedge fodder." It's not. It's not. We haven't finished cleaning them yet. Cleaning is like, if you hand something in, because the way the system goes is you find something. If you think as a person, oh, that's going to be rich here, Rodney, then you basically get hold of them.
Yeah.
So, for example, that not too long ago looked like that. Okay. They look like rusty bits of metal, which is exactly what the guy from the museum said. They're just bits of metal. That was even when I said, "Can you not see a snake?" This was found with this, right? That's been cleaned. That's got shape to it. That's got detail. Obviously, there's a bit of the bone missing there, but if you hold it like that, it feels like it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Feels like a sidearm, doesn't it? You'd have it in your boot, and you'd have it down there in your boot. You'd have it out, and you'd have it. This you told me was your granny's button.
Yeah.
But it
does look there. It's the handle looks modern.
Every day I look at it and I go, and Sharon said, "Oh, my mum had one like that," but she may well have done, because everything came after. This was designed God knows when, but it's got a serrated edge here.
Yeah.
It's got two distinctive holes there, which the more you look at it, they look like eyes. It's not your everyday bread knife.
No.
Or butter knife.
This bit's interesting.
All these three pieces were found together. Yeah, I've showed this to the museum man. He said it's an old scythe or whatever. Yeah. What did you call it? Yeah. Scythe? I can never say the word. It's for chopping down vegetation.
Yeah.
And I'd tell you now it ain't, because all of this will clean up like that. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not even finished cleaning yet. This was found together with this bit of wood. Looks like a just everyday bit of wood, but it fits in there like a glove.
It does, doesn't it?
It fits in there, it's cut to shape there, and when you push it in, yeah, ready? I didn't do it that time, fuck it. Take two, ready? You push it in, and it clicks in like that, like it's meant to be, yeah? So then I'm thinking, well, what the hell is it? But this bit was next to it, and this bit was the same colour as that. And I stupidly cleaned it. I haven't cleaned that bit so well. But you can see the detail has come off of it. Like that, I think, is what it would have been like all the way over. And it's obviously been buried for a long time. But it's a nice bit of wood, it fits there. And then this bit here, which I found beside it, goes in there right next to whatever that is, right? And then when you hold it like that, it's a bow and arrow all day long. I've got to get the angle right. That fits in there like that, so that would have been attached to there like that. That's the bit that you hold. I'm holding it too low because I've got to hold that bit of wood on. The handle is there, and that's your bow and arrow, and you can tell there's detail here. You can see where the wire would have gone up around the top, and there's a piece that's fallen off of here on the tip, which was the other bit for the return, and then it would have come back. There's a hole here where they secured that bit of wood to there, and we know that because the bit of wood split.
Yeah.
So we'll continue cleaning that, but I'm starting to find what I believe is weapons. I've got a couple more in the house for next time, but a couple more sidearms, and talk briefly about a couple of these minerals. These quartz pebbles, the specialists say that if you find a lot of quartz pebbles, then that tells you that there was a lot of worshipping going on, and could be a Saxon church. Pagans used to use them, chuck them in the ground. Probably hadn't had sex for like a week or whatever, and then they were like, oh, so get one of these.
Nothing's changed in this.
Yeah, chuck it in the ground, right? And then, oh, hopefully tonight. Of any interest to anyone. That tells the story anyway. We're getting closer to knowing what we're talking about there. And then, you know, obviously the end game is for Sharon to have a kitchen next year. But
okay. What, a Roman kitchen?
It might be. We might just find one. We might just have to just clean it off a little bit. Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, we're going to do that. It's going to be alright. Yeah, not much more to say.
No, I think that's about it until next time, but yeah. Well, you're certainly progressing, so...
Next time will be Christmas outfits. We'll have to wear Christmas hats.
Oh, God.